Capcom is one of those companies that does some really awesome things and then some really questionable things. You know, they make Monster Hunter, which is really, really awesome, and they made Street Fighter, and especially Street Fighter 6 is a really solid game, and then they made questionable decisions by putting in all that monetization into Street Fighter 6, which is of course optional and you don't need to have, but it's just a load of bollocks. And then they obviously made Dragon's Dogma, which I'm not a massive fan of Dragon's Dogma, especially Dragon's Dogma 2. I have tried it, and unfortunately it's not really the kind of game for me. And then they monetize parts of it, which is really bizarre. But one of the biggest crimes they have ever committed is abandoning the Breath of Fire franchise. Now, I know Breath of Fire 1 and 2 you can get on the Switch's virtual console, and you can obviously get backup copies of them, which is what I have. But the last real entry into the Breath of Fire series was in 2002 with Dragon Quarter on the PlayStation 2. Now, to be fair, Dragon Quest V Dragon Quarter is wank. We know this. So I'm just going to use footage from Breath of Fire 3 and Breath of Fire 4 here, because those two are my favourite ones, and Breath of Fire 4 was the first one that I played on the PlayStation 1 and absolutely loved it. And it even has fishing in it, which is obviously an amazing win for any RPG. But there was a Breath of Fire 6 that was released in Japan exclusively on PC, Android and iPhone, and that is a dreadful decision by Capcom. Where the hell is the HD remaster of Breath of Fire 3 and 4? Or where is the collection? Like, what are you doing? Where people want to throw you money. There are campaigns on Twitter, or X or whatever it's called now. There are campaigns online to bring these games up to scratch. Breath of Fire 3 and 4 especially are absolutely fantastic games and have great characters, and Breath of Fire 4's artwork is beautiful, and just HD'd up a little bit I think would look outstanding. They got solid combat, they got great characters, they got really cool aesthetic, especially with the whole dragon things, and obviously Dragon Quarter is a bit wanky. I haven't played it in a very long time, but I do remember not liking it, that's for sure. But Breath of Fire collection, even if it's just Breath of Fire 1 to 4, I would be over the moon with that, or even just a HD remake, well, not a remake, but HD remaster of Breath of Fire 3 and a HD remaster of Breath of Fire 4. Not full remakes, just HD them up, like they did with, other companies did with the Grandia series. I think that would be an amazing idea, and I'm fairly certain people would throw money at Capcom for bringing these back up, because Breath of Fire is just one of those RPG series that there's not a lot of them, but I just held them in such high regard, up there with Final Fantasy, and it's just such a shame. It's also like even with Square Enix with Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy Tactics, I don't know why they haven't re-released that or HD'd that up or made a new one. There just seems to be all these questionable decisions. Now, we all know what it really is. All the big companies now, they want to milk money. And I have a massive problem with £70 games having free-to-play game monetization. If you're going to make your game free, that like Fortnite and the new X to Fight and all that, and then you want to monetize it, of course, companies need to make money, I understand. But when you're charging full price for a game, like with Street Fighter or Dragon's Dogma, don't monetize that with small little purchases and whatnot. That's just filthy and dirty, and it makes it feel like, well, what did I just spend 70 quid on then? Why have I spent 70 quid on a game and it's missing? And there's even talks by big CEOs about them wanting to put the price of up from 70 quid because they said the rising costs of development. It's like, well, what's going on? Games are getting shorter, for the most part a lot more wanky. We're paying more and getting less. So why not go back to what's easier, like these collections, and you can make money that way. You'd recoup shitloads of money if you brought Breath of Fire 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and shove them into a collection. But please, Capcom, for the love of God, re-release these games so people don't have to use backup copies. You could actually make money off of this. Put some Steam achievements, PlayStation trophies, Xbox achievements, whatever. If Nintendo's new console, which is going to be released, going to be announced shortly, if they have Nintendo achievements on the next Nintendo console, then that's a huge win. Because I think achievements on games add to replayability, even if the game itself doesn't lend itself to replayability. Which Breath of Fire games, they're a linear RPG tropey experience. Of course, they're not like open-ended, and they're not like Skyrim, for example. So people would also want more reason. Casual people would want more reason to replay through a game, and achievements is the way to go. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. I love the Breath of Fire series, obviously up to the 4th one, and I just want to see them brought up onto modern consoles, HD'd up, or remade, or whatever they want to do. But just please, for the love of God, bring them out. But let me know in the comments down below if you love the Breath of Fire series, or if this is a series you've never checked out. Like I said, you can get backup copies. And as always, thank you very much for watching.